This is the Lime-Flavored Network. This show is brought to you by Tricia's Bakery at triciasbakery.com. Welcome to Limelight on Apple, Episode 7, being recorded on the 4th of April, 2013. I'm DJ Allen.
And I'm Tricia.
See, that worked.
Allen.
And we are here going to have a shorter show than normal, because we're going to breeze through stuff, mainly because someone is going to be leaving town tomorrow and has to continue packing stuff.
And someone needed help packing stuff tonight, which is... That's the help.
This is the help.
Yeah.
So not only am I the production side of the dog treats, I am also the manual labor.
Yes. Yeah. But you're not the manual labor after I leave town. I am. And I get to sit at the show tomorrow for 12 hours by myself. Yeah. Good thing I have a hotspot.
Yes.
And electricity.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it so we can get this going here. The topic we're going to breeze over, and it's going to be the first one. T-Mobile is getting the iPhone.
Oh, I forgot to open up the article. I thought we were going with yours first for some reason.
No. We'll do the easy one first. If I understand correctly, T-Mobile is getting an iPhone that will be more or less, you can just bring it as long as it's unlocked to T-Mobile, or is that one specifically?
No, unlocked GSM iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have a T-Mobile in our area, but if for some reason we left our cell carrier and went to find another one, we could take our iPhones, get them unlocked, and go to T-Mobile. If we had one in the area, but we don't.
No, all we have is AT&T and Verizon. That's it. And I guess technically like Straight Talk, but...
Right. Speaking of, it's a nice segue.
Yeah. Speaking of, I knew that this happened a while ago, and I don't know why I must have seen something that sparked my interest today. The iPhone 5 is available on Straight Talk, and Straight Talk is like a prepaid program for cell phone service, like through Walmart, for example. You're supposed to be able to use your phone pretty much like you would on Verizon or a larger carrier. They're supposed to basically use the same cell towers, but it gives you a flat amount of money that you pay per month for your plan instead of Verizon, where all the taxes, fees, overages, extras, and raises in your plan. Are you not wearing that today?
Yeah, I had forgotten it. I had to take it. Well, it's all crusty, if you see.
His wedding ring that he hasn't worn in how long? So what's
6
another
months.
day?
Well, I'm putting it on now. That's the important part.
Is it?
Yes.
Until I leave tomorrow.
Well, it's staying on. I missed it today. Anyway.
Sure you did.
So if we were to, because of our situation, if we were to leave our current cell carrier, Verizon,
and not go to the other option, which is AT&T, because we wouldn't.
Because that would be like climbing out of the sewage collection truck into the sewer.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. So it's neither option is very great. We would go to Straight Talk or something very similar. Well, Straight Talk.
Because that's all we have.
Right.
Yeah. The article I found, well, it talks about the iPhone 5 being available on Straight Talk. Here's my article in case you feel like looking at any of it.
No. I'll be honest. Worst host ever.
Yeah. Yeah, basically with Straight Talk, here it says that they advertise unlimited data plans and cheap prices, but that's not the truth. There were some points that they brought up here that it's really not unlimited data. It advertises it, but a lot of people say that they have a cap of 2 gigabytes per month or 100 megabytes per day. I guess I've never looked at my usage per day, but I can tell you on a monthly basis I probably use about 15 gigabytes, if not more. And that's without tethering or using it as a hotspot.
But with the Wi-Fi, wouldn't we be dropping significantly?
Yes, that's a great point. That's how you run your phone because you have a phone with 3G.
Yes.
I have a phone with 4G, and we actually have that in our area. Ever since I got a phone with 4G, I stopped using my Wi-Fi because my phone is now about 20 times faster.
Which I can't wait till the iPhone 5S is announced, which on Mac Break Weekly today, I listened to it today, and it sounds like that might be the thing that's coming this fall.
Fall. Oh, fall's a long way away.
I know.
Because it's still technically winter. Although on the calendar it says spring.
It's spring.
Yeah, we could have a winter storm this weekend.
It's spring.
We're letting people know all kinds of great things about living here.
Don't. That's the recommendation. Just don't.
In case you don't know where here is, this is North Dakota.
They know where here is.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured most of them will, but the one guy that watches does know where we are.
Yes.
So.
And the other two that will check the show out they're aware too.
Okay. All right.
That's right. 3 people.
Thank
you to all 3 of you.
Yeah. Anyways, it says here that if you're going to use it to stream Netflix or Hulu or watch movies or stream music, you're never going to be able to work with their cap on their unlimited plan. They talk about the article, in case I didn't say this, is like five things to watch out for if you're looking into the Straight Talk plan with iPhone 5 and why you're not exactly getting what they're saying you will. Next here it says, the iPhone 5 on Straight Talk starts at $649 because you're basically buying your phone. They do say it's $450 more expensive than buying it on a contract with a major carrier, which is true if you get the subsidized phone. For us, we buy our phones outright. We pay full price to keep our unlimited data plan because it's much more practical for us to have the unlimited data than to get a subsidized phone and basically a limited plan. So.
Yes.
So anyways, that's another point that they're saying is bad, is that the phone costs a bunch, but technically that's a couple $100 more than what I paid. I mean, a couple $100 less than what I paid. Okay. Let's see here. Bad customer service. Don't really need to get into exploring that. Everyone knows what bad customer service is.
It's the cell phone industry.
Another point, it says the same towers as the same names. Straight Talk is not a household name, but they do use the same towers as major carriers like Verizon or Sprint. They don't announce which carrier towers they use, however. It does say that they connect to AT&T and Sprint towers. The iPhone 4S is using Sprint. So you may not know, if you don't have good coverage in your area with all the carriers that they list, you may be left out. And I know in our case, because we don't have Sprint, that's a big hit for us. And AT&T, anyone, if you've talked to anyone with the AT&T coverage still, it's not as good as the Verizon coverage is here.
Well, even when I had the AT&T, well,
it's gotten better, but yeah.
When we were on Alltel, because Verizon bought Alltel, it would create a monopoly where we're at, so they made Alltel change into AT&T. So AT&T is using what Alltel had. When we had Alltel, I was working out of town, 86 miles away, and there was a good 50-mile chunk of that trip that I could not use the phone because I didn't have a cell connection. And in the building I was working in, I did not have a cell connection. The instant we switched to Verizon, there was a one dip in the road where I didn't get cell connection, and I got great connection inside the building I was working in at the time. So
the other problem was when you were staying with my parents for that huge chunk of time, you had to be outside to use your phone.
Any decent amount of time, yeah, or be very near a window.
And once we switched to Verizon, you could be in their basement and you'd be talking to me on the phone without a problem. So that was a big difference for us.
Yes.
Confusing terms of service is another point, which again doesn't really need to. We don't need to go into that. But they say bottom line, it still saves you hundreds of dollars. It says with Straight Talk, your average yearly plan could cost $1,729 compared to Verizon, which is at $2,119, Sprint $2,118, and AT&T, which is at $2,095. And it says no 4G, LTE, or tethering. So that would also be a huge reason to not go with them for us personally.
Yeah.
Why buy a 4G phone if you're only going to get 3G service? And that was something that I had looked into initially when I seriously thought about us changing, was that I was noticing that we were not going to get 4G service. I didn't know if it was going to be permanent or just for a while until they figured things out. And if there's no tethering, well then I'm done. No longer considering this switch.
Right. But something you might consider if you used it more would be a streaming music service. To which Apple apparently, through rumors of course, because Apple doesn't announce anything until they've announced it, that there's apparently an iRadio that they're calling it, is coming very soon to some are saying
very soon, like an Apple TV set, or very soon like an iPad 5.
Like the iPhone 5, maybe sooner.
Okay.
The streaming service, which of course is a rumor at this point, so we're going to talk about it as if it's a rumor. Experts say that it could be like Pandora, or it could be like Spotify. They're determining what type of service they want to provide, and those same experts are confused as to why Apple would be doing this.
Is Pandora and Spotify different because one's free and one's paid?
I think so.
'Cause I don't know much, if anything, about Spotify. I use Pandora, but I use the free version. And I know that there's a paid version where you basically get away from ads. Spotify, I think, is a subscription type service. I really don't know, and that's why I asked you to read your article.
What does it say? Oh. The article I found only mentions Pandora. Now, I think that it only mentioning Pandora 1 hour ago is a little bit short-sighted because nobody knows what the model is. Nobody knows why they're doing it. Nobody that I know listens to the radio anymore, and anyone who's got music through iTunes or on their phones or iPods and stuff already has the music, so they don't really need to listen to a music service. I don't know. I've got friends on Facebook that use Spotify, but I don't know any of them that use Pandora. Well, but I mean, outside of this room right here,
okay.
I don't know anyone that uses Pandora. I don't know anyone. I haven't actually seen anyone using Spotify, so I I'm not going to use this service because the music that I want to listen to isn't going to be on it, and B, I'm probably going to have to pay to subscribe to it, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have to pay for it, especially if they're comparing it to Spotify in any way.
For those wondering, what I am speaking about as I won't find what I want to listen to, that will be K-pop, Korean pop music. I've got a very specific type of Korean pop music I like, and I have to keep an eye on certain YouTube feeds to find videos so that I know when new and interesting songs pop up.
For me, I have Beatles radio.
And you already own all the Beatles music, so there's no...
But I don't have any of it on my phone. I don't have a single song on my phone.
But then, so you listen to it through Pandora?
Yeah, right.
All right, beyond you, I don't know anyone that listens to the radio or a Pandora-like service.
Yeah, if I listen to any sort of music, it's through Pandora, and then podcasts. Which I guess isn't technically the radio. Other than that, the only time I hear the radio is driving to and from work.
That is the only time I hear the radio.
And it's AM, and I think the other 99% use FM. But
I don't
where
know.
we are, our radio stations suck.
So bad.
Yeah.
Everybody in the area who grew up during the 80s is now force-feeding everyone else 80s music. Now, everyone out there watching may go, oh, 80s music was great! No. Now, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's not the 80s music you're thinking of, first off. And two, no. You were mad when the 70s were force-fed to you. Why do you want to force-feed the 80s to you? Not that today's music is any better, because Lord knows that isn't the case.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, let's move along to our app choices. I will start.
Okay.
Because you look like you're doing something.
I was just
first one is the app, the one that oh, that's a day ago. Day, not an hour ago. Sorry. I forgot what my app was. Wow. Oh, iSpeech, TTS. iSpeech TTS is you put text into it and it speaks it for you. I use it quite a bit, especially if you listen to the Limelight stuff. I've been inserting iSpeech voices in there because there are things that need to be relayed to you as the listener that I do not want to speak in a bland tone. So I make a British accented female voice say it to you. There are several accents you can get. I was wondering if some of these were, like if you would type in hello, if it would translate it into like Spanish or Chinese or Japanese, but I have read the reviews of iSpeech, and what I have come to discover is that those are just accents. So if if you buy the extra voices, you're buying accents. Now the ones that come free with the free app are US English female and UK English female. I went ahead and bought the US and UK English male because of some projects that I've got coming up. I suppose that if I have some things that where I need some sort of accented thing, I could go out and buy them. They're 99 cents a voice. There's also Obama and Bush, because this came out, I want to say, around the first time they were elected. When Bush was in office and Obama was coming into office. But you can put into, I believe it's a minute worth of reading, and iSpeech will just not read if it's too long. So you'll know if it's too long at that point. But you can put in up to a minute and it'll read it for you, and it helps, and it's also comedy relief for when I want to say something to her. I'll just type it in and then make it say it to her, and then she'll giggle. And before it was just female voices going back and forth, but since I bought the male ones, now I can harass her without saying a word.
And there, didn't we originally get that when I had my teeth out?
Yes.
I couldn't talk because my mouth hurt so bad because I had an allergic reaction in the stitches.
Yes.
So I used my phone to talk for me.
And there are different versions of this app. The one that I have is iSpeech TTS, but I also downloaded when they were still free. I think they're all still free too. I have an iSpeech German, an iSpeech Chinese, and an iSpeech what I'm going to assume is Taiwan. Now, I don't know if those are just accented or if they translate, but we will find out in the future. Oh, I have a iSpeech Obama as well, which, you know what? Give you an example. I'll show you the Obama one. Let's see here.
I have breaking news on the streaming audio.
What's the breaking news on the streaming audio?
It's rumored to be offering it for free, subsidizing the service through an ad-supported model. It would most likely be available on the iPhone, iPad, Mac, and possibly even on Windows computers through iTunes. Kind of on a side note, I discovered on my Windows laptop at work a couple weeks ago that I can stream podcasts from my computer to my Apple.
This is extremely presidential. I approve this message.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was going to.
When you hit talk, you didn't realize it was going to talk?
Well, no, I said okay, and then it just started talking. Because down here there's a speak, so here, let me play it again so that I don't interrupt you again.
This iSpeech app is extremely presidential. I approve this message.
And that was the Obama one. So it kind of humor. You can make him say silly stuff, and they pronounce quite a few of the words correctly. So, like really, like Dalek, they pronounce correctly. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So anyways, I discovered that I could stream podcasts from iTunes to my Apple TV on my Windows computer, and maybe other people already knew that, but it was news to me. I never expected that to happen. Now, on the iRadio service, let's see what else here. They're rumored to possibly announce it when they announce iOS 7 this summer.
Okay.
But it could possibly be free, more like Pandora. So that's...
Pandora seems to be the key that they're going for there.
The biggest problem they're having with it right now is the price negotiations. They want to pay 6 cents per 100 songs streamed. Pandora pays 12 cents per 100 songs. And Spotify pays 35 cents per 100 songs. So they want to pay the least. But it does say that the labels want Apple to pay at least the rate that's been set by the Copyright Royalty Board of about 21 cents per 100 songs, which is about 4 times what Apple's willing to pay. My app.
Transition!
My app is Calendarium.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. It's just an app that tells you this day in history and lists a whole bunch of stuff that happened on whatever day you're looking at it. It also gives you sunrise and sunset in your area, and it tells you what day, like today is the 93rd day of the year, and what, there must be 272 left?
That would make sense.
Okay.
Which would help with Julian dating for those of you that use that system.
So let's see if anything interesting happened this day in history. 2000, United States versus Microsoft. Microsoft is ruled to have violated United States antitrust laws by keeping an oppressive thumb on its competitors. 1996, the Unabomber Theodore Kaczynski is arrested at his cabin in Montana. 1981, the Osborne 1, the first successful portable computer, is unveiled at the West Coast Computer Fair in San Francisco. Something to interest you, and you may have to read this one for me. 1975 at the top.
1975. Bobby Fischer refuses to play in a chess match against Anatoly Karpov, giving Karpov the title of world champion by default.
Yeah, I wanted you to read that one because I didn't want to mispronounce one of their names that I knew you would get.
And for those that follow chess, I will be having a chess show appear next year. And Anatoly Karpov is the predecessor to Garry Kasparov as world champion. So he's fairly well known. And he's not as active as he used to be, but he still plays.
In 1882, Jesse James was killed. This thing goes back pretty far. 1860, the first successful United States Pony Express run from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California begins. I've had this go back all the way to 855 or something when we ran into the comment about the Vikings. So the app goes back, I mean, really far on your single day.
And today it goes to 1043. Edward the Confessor is crowned King of England.
The one thing that I don't like about it is that I've never figured out a way to look at other days other than the one you're on. And I don't think you can, which is why I haven't found a way. Under the information button there, they just have, tells you the moon phase, and I suppose where our latitude and longitude is.
I would say it out loud, but then you could find us and launch nuclear missiles at us.
Wait, is North Korea listening?
I bet our one viewer is Kim Jong-un.
Oh boy.
That's the show title.
That was the breaking news while we were eating out tonight, was that they were threatening us.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, whatever. Anyways, that's my app. It's called Calendarium. I know that it's a paid app. I got it for free through one of my Apps Gone Free deals, but it's been interesting to have around.
We apologize for this being only a half hour-ish, but...
Well, it's better than what you predicted.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like 15 minutes, but someone's got to leave town, so they have to get ready, and I have things I need to do too. So we're going to let you go, and if you show up Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, The Greatest Show Online, Episode 2, will be live on this channel. And again on Monday at about 8 p.m. Central, the Lime Flavored Show will return for its 14th episode. Bad things happened before the 13, and I had things to do, and everything just got messed up, so I just did a really short one, and I apologize for that, which I haven't gotten out yet either. But we'll be back next week at 8 o'clock p.m. Central.
Hopefully.
We will be back next week at 8 o'clock p.m. Central.
Whether we have content or not.
Yeah! Contentless show. We can ramble on about nothing. We can do our apps of the week. We always got apps, especially with that Apps Gone Free app.
Yeah, Apps Gone Free is a good app to get.
I still have yet to try out He-Man, the most powerful game in the universe.
I have all kinds of apps on my phone that I've never tried out, like the Van Gogh one, and I don't even know what these are for anymore. But there's all kinds of them with the little new banner on them. I just download them when they're free and take them off my devices so that they're in my history if I ever decide to use them, or if I find an interesting show like i5 for the iPhone and they decide to talk about an app that I've downloaded and I haven't tried.
And in case you missed that, that's kind of a tip on how to use the Apps Gone Free, is get all the apps, and then you can just delete them and use them whenever you want to, because then they're in your purchase history.
Yep.
So, but we'll let you go. We're rambling on a little bit longer, so thank you for joining us. You can find us all on all of our stuff on limeflavor.com, email, all that garbage. So say goodbye, Trish.
Goodbye.